Welcome to another episode of Esoteric Hollywood. I'm your host, Jay Dyer. Tonight we'll be talking about a couple films that I've wanted to get to for a long time. Soylent Green and The Omega Man. And we've already got some super chats. Thank you, Twice Remembered. Will you be interviewing the greatest deaf singer ever again? Well, he hasn't been interviewed at all yet, so I can't interview him if he's never been interviewed. But can you hear me? Can you all hear me? Am I talking to an audience? Of course, sunglasses make the stream even better, and what could be better than Hawaiian shirts, baby? You left a dirty present. Yeah. This is, I made a joke on Warski tonight, what that's for, but I'll save the poor Jay's Analysis stream listeners that sordid tale. All right, glad you guys can hear. So we're going to talk 70s Charlton Heston, and you're going to get some Charlton Heston impersonation. And, these are fun movies. And I was going to include Planet of the Apes, but I didn't get a chance yet to watch Planet of the Apes, but I did watch Soylent Green and I did watch Omega Man. There's a lot more in Omega Man actually than there is in Soylent Green, but Soylent Green is still relevant, and I was thinking we could actually call this Soy Boy Green because soy is everywhere now. You can buy chocolate, you buy anything, and there's soy in it. You buy soybeans and there's soy in it. Soy is everywhere. Soy sauce full of soybeans. And now they put soy in everything. Soy lecithin in everything. Why is it suddenly in everything? Well, I'm watching this movie with Charles Heston, and I'm starting to realize that everything has soy in it for a reason, to make us all into soy boys. It really is that simple. And although Soylent Green is not soy, we all know what Soylent Green is in the movie. If all the people are eating soy and then they make the Soylent Green out of people, then in a way Soylent Green is soy because it's soy boys. So they just grind up soy boys and feed it to the people, just like you grind up dead cows and feed it to the cows, and the cows get mad cow disease. And then in humans, that's what? Alzheimer's? Mad cow's disease. Soy is leftist. You bet it's leftist. And now that's what I noticed in this movie, was how similar this is to reality. And of course, in my book, Esoteric Hollywood, there's the section where we talked about altering male and female RNA and DNA. Isn't there? Isn't that in my book? Why, yes, it is in my book. I got Magnum PI sheet going tonight. And this mustache was getting made fun of, but that's okay because this is like, I shaved my whole face like 15 minutes ago, and this has already grown back in like the last 15 minutes. So I think the people that are jealous of my Magnum PI aesthetic, they just don't have their chest hairs yet. Their chest hairs and their testicles have not dropped yet. So we will pity them, but that's okay. Lady Fairfax, have you considered watching Zardoz? Read my book. There's a whole chapter on Zardoz. Boom, catch up. You in the back of the class, Lady Fairfax, you need to come up to the front, become the teacher's pet, and stop goofing off in the back of class. You would already know that Esoteric Hollywood has a chapter on Zardoz. Now, so Charles Heston has a coffin-sized apartment with his Jewish roommate, who's a revolutionary and wears a revolutionary beanie. What are those hats called? What are the revolutionary beanies called? Somebody remind me. What's the revolutionary beanie hat? Beret. That's what I'm trying to think of. So Charlton Heston has a old Jewish roommate that wears a beret. And the whole city is overpopulated, megalopolis. This is, by the way, what they want to do, right? So they're going to force everybody into the megacities, the smart cities. It'll be overpopulated. There'll be poop everywhere, and you'll be walking around dead carcasses and into your smart apartment, walking over all the dead bodies. And this is what we're supposed to think it looks like. Let's see if we can get this picture up here. Make this a little more relevant to today. So you live in a giant trash bin, a giant dump. Everybody lives in a dump. And so the overpopulation is easy to sell because you live in a damn dump. You can't have that many people living together. So then here comes the Soyros. George Soyros brings his food trucks, and the Soyros food trucks dump the Soylent Green for everybody in the smart city. This is Neom, the big smart city in the future. And the George Soyros is going to drop all of the soy pellets to the soy rabbits in the audience. And they're all going to be soy boys. And this is all predicted in Soylent Green. Now, I'm not going to go over the plot too much, but what is interesting is that at the beginning of the movie, I mean, everybody knows the plot. It's a really simple plot, too. They have euthanasia, right? So they murder the old people. The old Jewish guy has to go, be incinerated, kind of like in Logan's Run. And then you see, of course, the year is 2022. The place, New York City, population 40 million. What? So giant, mega smart city. Everybody's packed in like sardines, or should I say soydeans, because everybody is soyed out. And make a long story short, we all know what happens. Everybody finds out that they're just grinding up people. And Soylent Green, the miracle food, which is supposed to feed the starving population. So you kind of have this Monsanto kind of big pharma element to it, which is, we could point that out. So giant, not factory. What am I trying to say? Looks like a damn conveyor belt of, what am I trying to say? A conveyor belt of factory food, fake factory food coming at you. Where's Charlton? There we go. Charles Heston on the conveyor belt. And here's all your Monsanto food just pouring off the conveyor belt for you. Your George Soyros pellets. And what do we get? Soylent Green is made from people. Right? There's your Charles Heston. And we find out it's made from people. Now, I think that they're probably already in the GMO. There's no telling what they put in these GMOs. And in fact, in some of the vaccines, there was the story of they were using aborted fetal tissue. And in Pepsi was using the company that gets their flavoring from stem cells. So aborted stem cell used in Pepsi flavoring. So you might as well already be living in Soylent Green. Here it is, right? So smart city, fake food, everything Bertrand Russell said would be the case. It's all there. Now, the other thing this movie has, which is bogus, is the whole idea that, there's just too many people. There's too many people. What are we going to do? It's overpopulated. And that's because we are given the impression that we are overpopulated because of these ridiculous megalopolises. The megalopolises give people the impression that there's not enough room on the earth for the people. Yeah, there's actually a giant earth that we live on with giant swaths of land everywhere. But that is all going to be owned by the elite. And you're supposed to be in the Soylent Green city. Now, so that's my take on Soylent Green. Again, the euthanasia state at the end. Don't forget that. They've got euthanasia. If you're a certain age, you go into the oven, burnt up in the incinerator, and then you become Soylent Green for everybody else. So I don't know if I missed anything else, but there's not a whole lot in there. But again, let's make the connection. Soy boys, Soylent Green boys, right? That's where we are today. So Soylent Green, another dystopia that has pretty much come to fruition. Now, when it comes to Omega Man, I have quite a bit more. The Omega Man, by the way, send your super chats if you would like me to read them over the internet airwaves, which aren't airwaves, the internet radio waves, the internet YouTube waves. I'll read them for you. Please send me your super chats. Omega Man. Now this one's funny because this one is right around the same time as Soylent Green, and I think it's the same producer. And Omega Man is, of course, the remake of the Vincent Price Last Man on Earth. And then this gets remade in, 10 years ago, 2006 or 7, with Will Smith, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. And Will Smith blood is what saves everybody. In this, it's Charles Heston blood that saves everyone. But there's some interesting aspects to Omega Man that I think warrant some analysis. So, Charles gets himself a Nubian princess in this. So this is interesting because, I had been, it had been a long time since I watched this, and I forgot that Charles was going to get hooked up with the Nubian princess, which is funny because that comes up in the movie. So you can get over here. It comes up in the movie that the cult sees this as weird. There's a black dude in the cult, the powdered donut black dude that's super ashy, and he's like, honky privilege. He says something like this, right? What does he say? I've got it written down here. He says honky paradise, right? Because Charlton Heston lives up atop of this wealthy estate type thing where he's keeping all the cult members out in the apocalypse, and then he hooks up with the Pam Grier looking 70s chick. And the black guy in the cult is like, he's like, honky privilege, right? Because he's not happy that this Whitey has taken his black girl. And then Charlton Heston has to fight against the cult. And what I like about this is that the cult is focused on superstition. So there's this kind of laughable dialectic between science and religion. And so after the bioweapon gets loose and everybody's got this plague except for Charlton Heston and the Peter Pan crew of kids. Here we have the whole Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome type scenario at the end of this film, if you don't recall, when he meets up with the Lost Boys. So Charlton, in what I'm saying is that this cult has to indoctrinate the black dude in the cult to be a powdered donut black dude and not care that Charlton Heston has the black chick, because now after the apocalypse, all of the evil cult members are white people. So it's like they've got Jacko's disease, right? They've got Michael Jackson syndrome. They've got I wrote down an idea. What did I call it? They've got Stevie Wonder's disease. I called it Jacko syndrome, and I called it something else. Anyway, the point being is that the cult are Luddites. They're anti-tech. Okay, they don't want technology to return, and so Charlton Heston is the enemy to be stamped out because he's a scientist. So there's this constant dialogue in the film that's really funny between the Gothic. What did I call them? I call them. They're like a '70s Gothic P-Funk organ playing cult. So imagine P-Funk went emo, and then they started playing the organ, and that became a religion. That's essentially what you have in this cult. And so the plague gets out. They become the Powdered Donut Brotherhood. And they quite literally look like powdered donuts. I'm not joking. And then Charlton Heston, as we said, hooks up with the last black chick. The last chick is black chick. And prior to this, he's having to only watch old Woodstock footage, right? It's pretty funny. That's the only movie he has after the apocalypse is old Woodstock footage, and he can mouth everything that the hippies are saying. And so, ironically, the movie is like an incel fantasy almost. It's like, how would I get a chick if I'm the last guy on Earth, then and there's one last chick, then she'll have to be with me, right? So this is like an ultimate incel fantasy. Just a thought I had. It's not really an incel fantasy, but so we see Charles sitting up in his room, and he actually at one point is sitting on a Masonic floorboard, which is bizarre. And then he dresses up like a gay French prince and fires a sniper at the cult, which was just that itself is pretty entertaining. That Charlton Heston dressing up like a gay French prince and sniping. I called him the fabulous sniper. And by the way, he's lugging around big sausages when he does this, which is very bizarre. PHAT sausages, fat sausages. So the cult wants him dead because he represents the last of the old ways of doing things. And he says something to the effect that the cult leader, Matthias, says something to the effect of, "You and your scientific tools destroyed the world, and we will therefore destroy you." And so Charles is kind of losing his mind because there's no chicks, right? This is before, and so he's like falling in love with mannequins. So it almost turns into Andrew McCarthy in Mannequin, right? With the mannequin fixation, the golem that comes alive in the movie Mannequin, if you've never seen it. Very, very goofy. But there's similar scenes going along here, but it turns out no, it's actually the black chick, and you got to see this cult leader guy. He's great. He's like a cross between, remember that movie Powder? It's like if Powder was in the Blues Brothers and was a fan of Jim Jones, is what you get with Matthias. Not a church that you want to join. Maybe a church you might visit, but not a church you want to call your home church. So the whole film is basically a scientific presentation of salvation. And religion is relegated to the domain of everybody in religion is Jim Jones, the Inquisitor, in the Blues Brothers, and has the disease that Powder has. That's all that exists in religion is this kind of incel. Although ironically, again, the Charlton Heston character dressing up in gay French prince outfits and sort of gingerly trotting about his apartment and firing snipers and guzzling wine kind of makes Charlton a bit of an incel as well. But maybe we can grant him an incel pass given that he is the last man on Earth, so he thinks. So, but what we get is basically it's the return of superstition versus the tradition of science and the flame of reason. And the irony is that you have the Christian myth, all right, of the blood of Christ saving people is kind of weirdly turned on its side, and it's the blood of Charlton Heston that saves people because he's the scientist. And it's the religious people who want man to be doomed and basically have leprosy. Right? They've got like meth. They've all got meth sores all over their face. So religion gives you meth sores. Science gives you Charles Heston and bedding down sexy black chicks. That literally, like, I didn't realize my wig is literally the wig of the black chick. So that's extra free for you guys, me wearing the wig. I was gonna show her again. I can't find her picture. Where's the blonde, the afro chick? There she is. Yeah, so this is a ridiculous stream, isn't it? Yeah, so see? So Omega Man's whole point is just that science trumps religion. Gotta see my notes here. Fabulous Sniper. The white black guy cult. Oh, they're called the Family, which is interesting because, the Family obviously was a real cult. Oh, and they burn the arts too. So if you're not for science and the arts, then you must be religious. Right? So, because religions burn the arts, even though like all the greatest arts of Western civilization in the last 2,000 years are religious art. No, the religious only want to destroy art. What else? Is there anything else in this movie that I thought was relevant? Oh, religion claims objective truth, and that's its problem. Science doesn't. And so that's why they have the Inquisition to kill Charles Heston, is because they believe in objective truth. And Charles Heston argues with them about you can't have truth. You can only have scientific verisimilitude and relative certainty about things. Right? Which is, again, how many times do we have to point out that that's a claim of certainty in itself, isn't it? Well, of course it is. Right? So you fall in with this cult. Everybody takes on the Blues Brothers appearance, and you get Stevie Wonder's disease because they can't. Oh, this is the other thing. They can't see in the day, so they all have shades on at night, like I do presently. And you see I'm kind of pasty over here, white. They can't see at night because the light pains them greatly. They fall over, limp, rolling over, fetal position anytime they're exposed to light. And that's because in the original story, they're vampiric, right? They want blood. They're like zombies. They're like zombie vampires. But then the weird scientific twisting of the Christian mythos, they turn it into the scientist blood that saves the people in the cult. And the people in the cult, here's the great message, right? They don't want to be saved from their malady. They want to remain in their diseased, leprous, powdered donut, gothic funk state. Gothic P-funk. So that's what we get here. So this is very obvious scientific, goofy propaganda, but it was a lot of fun. I had fun watching this. I had fun analyzing it. There's not a whole lot more to say, really. I mean, that's kind of the essence of this movie. But if anybody has any more comments, feel free. This is not going to be a long stream tonight. We've already hit almost 30 minutes. I'll probably call it a night, and then we will soon do Planet of the Apes and some more 70s sci-fi stuff. But yes, I did do Zardoz. I did do Logan's Run. Those are in my book. You can get Esoteric Hollywood at my website, Jay's Analysis. Signed copies, $30 in the U.S. Any more super chats? We're talking about Roosh. George Clinton. Yep. P-Funk. P-Funk. Do. Anybody got any other Bob Ross? Yeah, see, I wore this afro for the whole We Was Kangs debate. And then people said, "Why are you wearing that afro? Is that racist?" I was like, "No, this is Bob Ross, dude. Can't be racist if it's Bob Ross, because Bob Ross has this exact same afro, right? As does the chick in other people in the cult, in the family cult. So no, tonight I'm just playing a member of the family cult from the Omega Man. All right, well, just a short stream tonight, chill stream. Thank you guys for a couple super chats there, and I will be splitting this up into a couple videos. I wanted to lay out brief analyses of Omega Man and Soylent Green. Everybody's requested those for so long. I thought it was time that they got did, and they got did. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and look for us Friday. I think we'll have a big Warski Live Friday. I'm not sure, but we're trying to get a big name guest on, and hopefully they will sign on. Tyler for $5. Lady Fairfax, 5. Thank you. Sorry, I'll buy your book. No problem. Tyler says, "What's the next globalist book you'll be covering?" Well, we got to finish the second half of the history of DARPA, and then we might do Alvin Toffler. Everybody has kind of forgotten about Alvin Toffler, and he's an important globalist. That one's been on the to-do stack for a while. So maybe one of the Alvin Toffler books when we get finished with the DARPA history by Annie Jacobson. So, guess that's it for tonight. No more super chats. Thank you guys. Fun little short stream. 30 minutes. It was fun. Check out these movies, and then if you haven't seen these movies in a while, watch them and then come back and watch these clips, and you'll be like, "Damn, dude, that was funny, and you were spot on, and everything was correct. You are a damn genius." Peace out.